Here's a fan theory. What if Aaron is actually JP from Grandma's Boy, and he created STEM to take it to the next level? I hate your face. Upgrade stars Logan Marshall Green, Betty Gabriel, and is directed by Leigh Whannell. So every now and then there is a trailer that comes along that kind of knocks your socks off. Upgrade was that trailer for me. First off, I really love like sci-fi action films, and just from the trailer, what really grabbed me was, they showed that first action scene that our main character Gray had when he's, it's like he's discovering his powers because STEM really just takes over. So anyway, let's get into the review because I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But let me just say right off the bat, Upgrade, one of the best films of the year. But I'm not surprised. Looking at the trailer, I knew that I would probably enjoy this, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. So Upgrade is set in the not too distant future, and really it's like old technology and new technology are meshing. And you can see right at the beginning, Gray, he's kind of an old school guy. He's fixing up his classic car. And then right away, his wife comes home, and she's part of the new generation. She even works at an organization that manufactures prosthetic body parts, even like weaponized body parts. So it gets pretty sci-fi. But at the beginning of the movie, Gray and his wife, they're out and about, and then all of a sudden, they are attacked by these, I guess, muggers, and his wife is killed, and then Gray is pretty much left for dead, like paralyzed. So right away, you're gonna get some RoboCop vibes from this premise right here. And so after this tragic event, Gray, he's pretty much just done with life. He doesn't want to live anymore. But then comes along this guy, Aaron. We've seen this guy in movies before. He's probably in his early 20s, and he's a genius, and he creates this tech called STEM. And it looks pretty much like a microchip, and he installs it in Gray, and then Gray becomes really like a super soldier. STEM is a technology that pretty much 100% takes over Gray's body. Without STEM, then Gray is still paralyzed. But with STEM, he is a bad mofo. Now, before I get into this review, I'm gonna let you guys know that I'm gonna talk about some spoiler stuff after the rating, because there's some awesome stuff that I want to discuss that I can't discuss in the non-spoiler section. First off, let's talk about Leigh Whannell. You might remember Leigh Whannell from Saw. He was actually in Saw, and I believe he co-wrote that with his friend James Wan. Matter of fact, there's even, if you're watching, there's a James Wan Easter egg in the movie. And I'll go ahead and say this up front. This is not only Leigh Whannell's best work today, this is like one of the best movies of the year. This was fantastic. I had a blast from start to finish, and it's nice to have something out at the multiplex that isn't a sequel or a remake. Now, you could say that this premise, it's nothing new. I mean, this movie, you're gonna get a lot of vibes from The Matrix, from Terminator, from RoboCop. All those sci-fi films, even Ghost in the Shell and Blade Runner. I got some of those vibes. Now, this movie really kicks into high gear once we get to that first action scene. When Gray, he's trying to find out who these guys were that killed his wife, and then all of a sudden, he needs STEM to take over.
I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Thank you.
And STEM, it's this voice in his head. Only he can hear it, and the audience, of course, we hear it. But STEM says, "Hey, can I go ahead and take over?" He says, "Yes, you can." And as soon as he takes over, wow, we're talking deadly, lethal, and some of the coolest hand-to-hand combat scenes I've ever seen, because Logan Marshall Green had to act during these scenes. He wasn't just doing choreography, he was actually having to react to what he was doing because he didn't have control of his body. And so just watching his performance during that scene, A, you're completely mesmerized by the awesome action, and then B, you're mesmerized by his acting in that scene. I've never seen an action scene like that before. It was just really cool. And it's really funny, actually. It's hilarious. And it's cool how he has this like back and forth with Stem throughout the movie. He doesn't want to kill, but Stem's going to do whatever it takes to get the mission done. Does not give two shits. But then there are some scenes where Stem needs Gray because he has limitations, just like any program does. Also, Logan Marshall Green. You know what? It's time we give the guy the respect that he deserves. Logan Marshall Green looks a lot like Tom Hardy. So much so that he gets called like Discount Tom Hardy, or maybe I've called him that before. But Tom Hardy is one of the biggest stars today, and then along comes Logan Marshall Green. But you know what? The dude is a fantastic actor. He was in a movie called The Invitation a couple years ago. Loved the hell out of his performance in that movie. He was also in Prometheus, great in Prometheus. And in this movie, he owns this feature. You would have to have a great actor to carry a movie like this, and he does it in spades. Fantastic job, actually. So, you know what? The discount gets taken out of there. He is just fully Logan Marshall Green to me. Just so happens he looks just like Tom Hardy. Also, one character worth mentioning is Agent Cortez, played by Betty Gabriel. Did not realize that she was actually in Get Out, playing a much different character in that movie. But in this movie, she is, she's a detective. And when she notices that Gray is at the crime scene, and then at this crime scene, and then people end up dead, of course, she's got questions. And so not only is Gray constantly trying to solve the case of his wife, but he also has Cortez on his tail throughout most of the movie. So this movie never lets up. It's just constant tension throughout the whole thing, and highly, highly entertaining. Now, I know I touched on the action, especially in that first scene when Stem takes over, but let me just say, not only is the action awesome in this movie, but it's pretty damn bloody. Like, Stem is a pretty damn sadistic piece of AI. And there's one scene where he goes into like this nightclub, and one of these thugs, takes Gray back to the bathroom, thinking he is a quadriplegic. And as soon as Stem takes over, there's a scene where Gray is, sitting over him, and he doesn't want to torture the guy to get information. But Stem does.
You didn't know that I'm a fucking ninja. While I am state of the art, I am not a ninja.
And Stem says, Gray, if you want, you can look away. I'll go ahead and take it from here. Guys, I could go on about this movie all day. Fantastic sci-fi action film. Definitely in my top 3 of the year, probably. Really good. Can't wait to see it again. Giving it a Trapped on an Island. Fantastic. Did not expect to give it that rating, but you know what? It earned it. Now let's talk about some spoilers real quick, especially just the one thing with Stem at the very end. You got this standoff between Cortez and Gray, and then there's this revelation that Stem not only was controlling Gray, but also was controlling Aaron. So he was using Aaron to pretty much get himself to Gray. Because if he's attached to a body that really has no control over itself, then Stem pretty much has carte blanche. He can do whatever he wants with that body. And it was so cool at the very end when Stem pretty much puts Gray in like this trance. So Gray thinks he's with his wife for the rest of the time. And then Stem fully takes over, leaving it wide open for a sequel. So hopefully we get a sequel out of this movie. Please go see this movie. I swear to God, it's fantastic. One of the best of the year. I know I've already said that, but it deserves it. So anyway, guys, if you've seen Upgrade, let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free Fire Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and now Stardust. I got to get my Stardust review out for this movie soon. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.